Hi guys, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy. This time I'm reviewing City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. This is the fourth book in the Mortal Instruments series. If you haven't read the series yet, start with City of Bones. This is the story of Clary, Frey, and how she discovers the world of the shadowhunters, which are these part angel people who fight demons and interact with vampires and werewolves, and it is really awesome and I really love it. So if you haven't read this book yet, go start with the first three, especially start with City of Bones, and then come back afterwards. It's going to contain spoilers for the book because it's really hard not to talk about this book. Talk about all of this book. Peace out if you haven't read the book. So in this book, a large part of this book is the relationships in here. The romantic relationships, especially in this one. We've got Simon dating Maya and Isabel at the same time, and you just know that's not going to work out well. I feel bad for the girls. I feel bad for Clary and Jace and everybody who's telling him this is a really bad idea. Simon's just oh, but I don't want to hurt their feelings. Like, really, Simon? You don't think when they find out you're dating both of them, especially when they're friends with each other, they are going to be really, really hurt about it? And he keeps pulling off this BS line about how, well, we didn't say we were exclusive. Simon, they are not going to care. Trust me, they will not care that they were not exclusive if you're dating their friend. That's a different line you're crossing here. So Simon's kind of annoying me. A huge part of this book is the lead up to Jocelyn and Luke's wedding. So Clary's mom and her soon to be stepdad. Really love that. I love seeing Jocelyn freaking out about the marriage. She's done this before, but she's still kind of worried about it. And you think this is her second time around, she'd be a little calmer, but she's still freaking out about it. And we also have the relationship between Alex and Magnus, which is getting complicated. Alec is finally thinking about Magnus's other relationships that he's had before, and the fact that Magnus is way older than him and is going to live forever, and Alec is going to have a normal lifespan, assuming he doesn't die from Shadowhunter related death, which happens. And Alec just completely freaks out, and Magnus is like, I don't see why this is a big deal. You knew I was older. But they also really, really love each other, and it is so sweet to see them kind of struggling through that, even if it's a bit frustrating at times. I'm glad that they had, Alec was gonna have to deal with this at some point, so I guess we had to have it at one point, so it might as well be here in book 4. And then we have the relationship between Jace and Clary, and Jace is having nightmares, and his nightmares involve him hurting to killing Clary every time they get kind of sexually involved, start making out. So every time they do that in real life, Jace just draws back, even if they're just kissing. And Clary is I don't understand what's going on. They're not communicating. So there's this distance between the two of them. And I feel so bad for Clary and all this. Because Jace should just talk to her. Just tell her what's going on. She'll understand, man. Simon's mom finds out he's a vampire in this, which was kind of alright, I was excited, and then I realized his mom really wasn't going to be okay with it, and it just hurt Simon so much, and he ends up having to glamour his mom so that she doesn't remember this happening, and Simon runs away from home and ends up living with this new guy in their band, Kyle. And I totally got apprehensive when Kyle showed up. I'm there's a new guy. Clary thinks he's hot. Oh dear Lord, please do not let this be Clary's brother, and please do not let Clary make out with this guy. Do not make out with him, Clary. As soon as she starts making out with him, it's gonna be a brother. So then I was pleasantly surprised to find out this had nothing to do with being related to Clary. Phew. This isn't really the bad guy. Phew. But instead, he is the one who turned Maya into a werewolf. So still drama, but it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be, so that's exciting. I have major trust issues in these books now because of Sebastian / Jonathan. Yeah. Clary discovers something new about her powers in this book, in that she can bring Shadowhunter's back from the dead, and it is not pleasant. And the Shadowhunter's in a lot of pain and anger, like angst, because like these are very painful injuries. So thank you very much, Clary, for that really gruesome scene. And we do get to see Luke kind of like pushing her to learn more about her powers because she's only using them in life and death situations. Which on one hand I'm like, but there are all these other ruins for when it's not life and death situations. Clary's just got the more interesting ones. Um, Simon having the marker cane on him plays a huge part in this book and how the other vampires are treating him. We get to see Camille, who's like the head vampire of New York. She shows up. She wants to get her thing back. Apparently, there's this huge vampire feud going on between her and Raphael that it didn't really end well, and she didn't exactly hand it over to him peacefully. So she's trying to recruit Simon to come and help her, but she tells Simon not to tell anybody. So Simon decides that's a good idea. Let me not tell the Shadowhunters about this vampire that I've just met and could be potentially dangerous. Simon is kind of just stupid at the beginning of this book. I don't know. Like, I love Simon, but just trust Clary, trust the Shadowhunters. Like, even if you don't want to trust Maris and the Clave, you should trust Isabel and Jace and Alex. So. And then the big thing at the end of this book is we have Lilith, who is like a greater demon, like huge greater demon, like there from the very beginning of time, greater demon. She is the one for whom the warlocks are named the children of Lilith. And apparently she's cursed that she can't ever have her own children, which is kind of interesting considering the warlocks are her children. But like, they aren't her biological children. She can never have a biological child. They're always cursed, and she's trying to create more children like Sebastian, who are part demon, part human, and it's not working. And then she's trying to experiment with like Shadowhunter blood, and there's a rash. There are a bunch of Shadowhunter deaths, and it's not very pleasant. Really horrifying, all the things that are happening with these kids. It's kind of making me sick. The end showdown was like, oh my goodness. Lilith wants to bring Sebastian back, which you know is not going to be a good idea. And the very ending of it, we're not exactly positive, but it sure as heck sounds like Sebastian's back, and that's terrifying. And that Sebastian and Jace are like connected now, all because Clary brought Jace back from the dead, and they didn't properly deal with that because the two of them are kind of keeping it a secret. That's what happened at the lake. Yeah. One part of this book, though, that made me super excited was Brother Zachariah shows up, which is kind of a spoiler about why, but I was just like over the moon that happened. Anytime Brother Zachariah showed up, all of a sudden I was like super ecstatically happy and paying really, really close attention to anything that comes out of his mind, because he's a silent brother and they think, not speak, but like any dialogue that Brother Zachariah had, I was just super excited about. And the scene with him and Jace, I love it so much, guys. The ending of this book is not terribly pleasant, but it is only the fourth book in the series, first book in the second trilogy. So I really want to finish this review so I can go start City of Lost Souls. So I love this book, not as much as the rest of the books in the series. It's kind of this low part of the series. I'm hoping the next two books are really awesome and amazing. Peace out, I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye.